Hi everyone, and welcome to the Taurus weekly tarot bite reading for the week of July 17th through the 23rd. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for Soul Illumination. So hi everyone and welcome. My name is Lauren. For those of you who are returning, thank you so much for your continued support of my channel. I hope you do get something meaningful out of this reading. And for everyone who is new, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you too get something meaningful and maybe something inspirational as well out of this reading. So this reading is meant to be only about 10 minutes or so it's just a short look at the energy for the week ahead for the sign of Taurus. And we're looking specifically at the two themes that came up in the general collective reading, which was posted on Sunday for the week, which was Poised in the King of Pentacles. So this really came out as we are getting poised to jump into the new. So this is that week where we are taking that breather to really look at the whole major cycle that just came through, that's coming to an end now, where we learned something about ourselves. We mastered something in the physical with the King of Pentacles coming in here. And now we're getting ready to really understand what we mastered about ourselves. And as we get ready, we are going to be jumping starting next week right into something new. And what is that new? It's something where we are going to be bringing in that star. You can see that above the fairy's head here. We're bringing that star into our physical experience. And what does that star represent? It represents our hopes, our dreams, that great guiding kind of North Star dream that we want to bring into our experience. What do we value? What is that whole thing of, if we could touch heaven on earth, what would that be for us? That's the star. Now I'm gonna jump in here and see really what this is going to be meaning for you specifically, Taurus, for this week. What are you kind of reviewing? What did you learn? And what are you getting ready to jump into? So let's see what's going to come out for Poised here. What does Taurus need to know about what they're getting ready to bring into their experience? What's the new? Now, you may feel a shift this week, Taurus, because the north node of the moon did just move at the beginning of the week here from being in your sign for the past year and a half into the sign of Aries, which it will now be in for an equal amount of time. So there's something here around it. You might feel kind of like, whew, the pressure's off. There might be also that feeling of a kind of a redirection too, away from, really that kind of hyper focus of pushing us to take a look at what we value. And now we're looking at how can we implement kind of a change in our value system that happened over the past year and a half. Now with Poised, the first card that came out was the Ace of Cups. I love that. It's a new cycle in love. It's also a new cycle. It speaks to a cycle that is going to really reconnect. It's one of spiritual reconnection. It's one where you're also going to, I think, really rediscover what's in your cup, rediscover what those needs are, rediscover maybe some long lost dreams. But there is a sense of a spiritual renewal in this next cycle as it starts for yourself. And then you have the Page of Cups, beautiful energy. Page of Cups with the Ace of Cups it's a return to innocence. Taurus, there's a return to innocence coming in here. Page of Cups can speak to our inner child. And I think for many of you, now this could be a cycle where you are really getting in touch with the inner child through children in your life. There's definitely that can be a part of something along those lines where we get to re-experience the innocence of childhood through direct connection to other children in our life, be it your own or others around you. Or this could just be a true reconnection to your own inner child, where you get that sense of being able to feel the world from a place of emotional vulnerability, but feel safe in doing so, and really honoring that part of yourself, not allowing it to be kind of pushed aside or wounded. You can see in this picture here, it looks like a boy is like opening, like looking at almost like a present or a box he has, and he's pulled this cup out. And there's that sense of looking at almost awe and wonder at what you have to offer and what's in that cup and the beauty of it. So this is a really, I just kind of keep hearing the word refreshing. This is a really refreshing and a refreshing cycle, a renewal cycle for you. So beautiful. That's a great thing to be poised and ready to bring into your life experience. Okay, so let's see here for the King of Pentacles. What did you master in this last cycle, and what are you really looking to capitalize on now in the next? So we have the Queen of Swords. Okay, so we have a whole story. We have the Queen of Swords that came out right on top of the King of Pentacles, and the Queen of Swords speaks to knowing your story. There is a sense with the Queen of Swords that she can say what she's survived. She knows the things, the difficulties, the challenges she's experienced, and she knows what she's capable of. She also knows the lessons she's learned. But this is about really becoming clear on your story, Taurus, and how you tell your story, how you share what you've gone through with others. And this can actually be where maybe maybe at one point you were maybe coming more from a victim mentality, where you would, somebody ask you like, well, what does your life story look like? And you're like, yeah, well, my work life has been pretty crappy. I've had terrible bosses. Everybody's used me, or the opposite. You can bring it into your home life. Where it's I just had one crappy relationship after another, and all men or women suck, and now it's almost like there's a chance to tell a more empowered version of your story of, wow, I really went through some terrible relationships, but in the end, I learned so much about myself and how I was undervaluing myself, or how I needed to maybe learn how to emotionally express my needs better. And now I'm at a place where I am so strong in my understanding of myself and my own emotional needs and how I come across in relationships that I am so ready to bring in the love of my life. Like there's a way of speaking about your story that can be very inspirational. And when you speak it's almost like if you could figure out how to share your story, when you think about going to see an inspirational speaker, if you start to share your story with every person that you meet as if they were the audience to your inspirational story, then you start to literally change your perspective. You shift your perspective yourself, because you start to, I'm not going to say, you start to believe that story is true. It is true. It's just a different perspective on it. And you start to, the old perspective of maybe where everybody was always like, treating you poorly, or you never were, treated fairly at work, or that kind of thing. It's changing how you look at it now. And the more that you start to come from a place of, look at how much I've grown, look at how much it's allowed me to open new doors, because if I hadn't been forced to leave that job because of how I was treated, I would never have, gone down the path to get me to where I am now in my career field, something along those lines. And then suddenly that whole other story starts to kind of get less and less and less, and then all you're left with is the positive element. And there's a sense here so if we had 5 of Wands, 8 of Cups, 5 of Swords, and Ace of Wands come in here. So this is a story that's coming through very strongly. What you experienced in this past cycle was you experienced a lot of it felt chaotic. There was, with the 5 of Swords, 5 of Wands, this can be where there's a sense of kind of competition. You're kind of battling other people. You might have been in highly competitive work environments, or even highly competitive personal relationships. But this can also be where there's just too much going on. It's just chaotic. And with the 8 of Cups, you walked away from that. There was something that didn't work for you there. The 8 of Cups was realizing that you could keep pouring into these cups, but it's not fulfilling for you. And so you had to walk away from something. And with the 5 of Swords, this does speak to, I think for many of you, there was a feeling here of, I know what I need to walk away from. I know that work environment isn't healthy for me. I know that the home life that's chaotic isn't working for me. I know that the friend group I'm with isn't supportive. I mean, something along those lines. And with the 5 of Swords, there was a period of time where you were not willing to see it. The 5 of Swords to me is always like, it's like the cosmic card of putting your fingers in your ears and being like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I'm not going to listen, that kind of thing. And then suddenly here comes the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands, fresh inspiration. This aha moment, this reconnection to your flame within. And I think that there's almost like this sense of realizing now, kind of looking back at that story and saying, if I hadn't gone through what I went through, I would never have rekindled my flame. I would never have had that inspiration for that new business. I would never have had that creative spark to write that book. I would never have had the chance to have a child with the love of my life. But there's something here around, it did take you a while. The cycle with the Five of Wands, the Eight of Cups, and the Five of Swords. This was a cycle that was lengthy. Anytime the Eight of Cups comes in, it does speak to something that you were emotionally investing in for quite some time. And it's hard to walk away from something like that we, felt like, but I put so much of myself into that. How can I walk away? But it's the realization that it is not fulfilling for you. Instead, it's just draining you. It's draining your cup. And this next cycle speaks to a very full cup. And it speaks to one where you get to, because you were brave enough to walk away from the chaos, you were brave enough to kind of take your fingers out of your ears and see the reality of a situation. The gift was your eternal flame. The gift was your passion reignited. The gift could have even been a child in your life. And there's so much beauty in that, but that's the story to share. And in the next cycle, it's one of love and emotional abundance. And one where you get to really, I think, bring out the most vulnerable part of yourself, and you get to really live and honor. You get to live from that place and honor that part of yourself, and it's really beautiful. All right, I will leave it there. Actually, let's just take a look at the bottom of the deck. There's the King of Coins, which is also the King of Pentacles. So that's you, Taurus. That's your card. So yeah, you're sitting in your throne of abundance. You have mastered how to prioritize your time. You have mastered how to manage your financial resources. You have mastered a skill set in your work environment or in your home environment, and you need to really honor yourself for that. Really kind of ascend to the throne of understanding your relationship with the physical, and get ready now to really I think embrace your relationship to your emotional experience in this next coming cycle. All right, I will leave it there. I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead. If you'd like to book a personal reading, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. Otherwise, July's tarot scopes for each sign are up on my channel if you'd like to view yours, and August's full tarot scopes will start to be released at the end of next week. All right, Taurus, I will see you next week for your next weekly Tarot Bite reading. Bye.